everybody, this is Jimmy Fiore, aka Diego Da Vinci here at Surya Wrestling. Today I conducted a 2-hour seminar training some newbies we have here that want to get into the sport of professional wrestling. I've been doing this for about 8 years now, and I gained a lot of knowledge. I feel like I have what it takes to start bringing some new recruits into Surya Wrestling. And anybody in Sault Ste. Marie who has the guts and wants to try this and ever wanted to do this, and I always said, well, maybe sometime, but I don't know, but now's the time. Here I am, once a month, we're here at the Polish Hall. Get in contact with me, Jimmy Fiore on Facebook. Message me, my number's on the poster there. You can text me if you're ever interested in learning the art of pro wrestling here in Sault Ste. Marie. This is all we have if you ever wanted that chance to do this. I thank everybody for coming here today. I really appreciate you guys putting up the effort and going through the card drill and all that. Here with one of my best friends here, I've traveled everywhere with, Matthew Ferranti, aka the one and only Vinny Da Vinci, probably one of the best workers I know. And he's another guy that you can get in contact with and you can learn a lot from him. We have a guy laying here on the ground from the good old USA, Mitch Johnson, who's been all over the place, and he's another guy who knows his stuff. Yeah. Or you know what you can do? Just contact Rob Zagoric. He can deal with it all. He knows everything. You get in contact and he can send you through to me. But I thank you guys for all coming here, putting out the effort. I wish more people had showed. To all you no-shows, I think I had 3 people out there that no-showed. If you want to come next time, if you don't, then that's your last straw. That's it. Okay, let's have a great show tonight, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Saw Monday Report. I'm your host, Rob Zagoric, and I can tell you I still have goosebumps from the show from the night before last night. I saw Beast of Burden. What an epic show. So much went on. Referees that were owned by Ricky Ray Ross. Matches that were so bad that they were rigged. Ricky Ray Ross he proved himself to be the bad guy that everyone thought he was going to be. I at first thought this guy was a good man, but tonight I'm going to tell you a couple things about what went on at Saw Beast of Burden. There was lots of burdens, that's for sure, but there was plenty of beasts. And the show, just because Ricky Ray Ross had his fingers in every match, still ended up going in the side of the good. We had a surprise visit from someone I haven't seen in years, and this man, he was one of the best. He carried Saw on his back. You know him, you love him. DC Wyld. I heard some strange music kick on while the Solution came out and was beating up the Da Vinci's in their tag team match at the beginning of Saw Beast of Burden. And when this music came on, I said, what's going on here? Who could this be? I thought it was maybe one more of Ricky's flunkies coming out to do more damage. But then all of a sudden, emerging from the bands, I seen DC Wyld running like a bat out of hell. He was riding a lightning bolt. And he jumped in that ring and he attacked the Solution. And the Solution ran like a little girl. And Ricky Ray Ross came out and started a big ruckus and tried to put the cards against them by putting them in a 6-man tag for the main event. And that Ricky Ray Ross was going to announce that Johnny Valentino and Brad Hexum were going to have a mystery opponent. Well, even that didn't faze them, because DC Wyld came out, took the win, and what a momentous win too. And the fans went wild. They partied till 6 o'clock in the morning. Like the streets in the town of Bayview all the way down to till central Sault Ste. Marie were shaken. So I'm going to bring out my special guest tonight. I think you all know who it is. Tonight I have here DC Wyld. I want to tell you guys that at the show we advertise that we know when the next show is. Ricky Ray Ross stated that this next show is Saw Eye of the Beholder, June 21st. I could get into more of that after I meet this man, but I don't want to keep you waiting anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, DC Wyld.
Hey!
Oh,
How's it going?
It's been years. How have you been, man? If I want to hug anybody, it'd be you right now. But
well,
Ricky Ray Ross won't allow that.
Yeah, he won't allow a lot of things apparently.
That's true. At Saw Beast of Burden, we've seen Ricky Ray Ross's true colors. His solution playing a big factor in this this show.
That he did.
Ricky Ray Ross playing a big factor at this show, and Josh Bennett out of nowhere playing a big factor in this show. Josh Bennett being a referee never crossed my mind. I didn't even know he could tie his own shoes, but
I've worked with Josh Bennett over the years a lot, and he is a sly little fox. He can come up with things, and he can yield results. Not the easiest of ways, but as far as he goes, well, me and him are done. But he can do what he has to do. And that's one thing about him. So I wouldn't be surprised that Ricky Ray Ross has him in his back pocket.
So, Saw Beast of Burden. We watched, me and everyone else who was there, and later on you'll see in the highlights after this episode, but the very first match, the tag team match, where this all went down, with the Da Vinci's and Brad Hexam, and it had Johnny Valentino, and Josh Bennett was supposed to be banned to ringside, and he ended up repping the match. And when all was lost, that out of nowhere, like a miracle, you come to save the day. And I don't know, because no one has known where you've been. And I'm sure that's on everyone's mind. Where has DC Wyld been?
Well, you want to know where DC Wild's been? Well, here's a little story. Obviously, everybody knows that a few years back, I was the face of the company. I was fighting for the company when all was lost and Business Inc. was running amok.
That was right, yeah.
I was the one fighting that battle for the fans, for the company. And you know what happened? I disappeared. And I'll tell you why I disappeared. Because Mr. Business and his team of lawyers, well, they decided to blackball me from any Saw shows. They made me just disappear. I couldn't get within 100 feet of the venue, no matter how hard I tried. They basically just swept me under the rug to try to forget about their problems and see how far that got them. Next thing you know, they go bankrupt. But I said, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I'll go do what I do best. Besides rocking and rolling in the ring, I went rocking and rolling across all of North America. I was touring with my band.
Yeah, I have your CD.
How'd you like that anyway?
Is it amazing?
Ah, good.
It was like candy to my ears.
Well, we're working on a new album as well. And, I was overseas as well, over in Europe, Japan, doing all those shows out there. Fans love what I do. And it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
So, I forgot all about the wrestling world. I was completely, I said, you know what, the hell with it.
Yeah, living the life, partying.
Partying it up. You seen the tour bus outside?
Yeah, beautiful tour bus.
It's where it's what takes me around, man. It's got everything you need on it.
Bigger than my station wagon.
Yeah, so thing was, now I had kept tabs and I had kept in touch with quite a few guys over the years. And I had talked to Vinny and Diego, on and off and here and there. And I had heard about Saw, coming back there and whatnot. And back in January, the first show, well, you guys want to know the answers to the videos and all the cryptic messages.
So that was you. Well, I noticed the music sounded something like that, yeah.
Absolutely. I mailed them a little flash drive. I said, you get this to the, the production truck. You make sure people are, they know what's up.
Yeah.
So this is what happened, and this is why I'm really surprised with Ricky Ray Ross. Actually, Ricky Ray Ross. That's not even a proper name for him. And I mean, look how he's dressed. Is he shopping in the women's section? Maybe we should call you Rachel Ray Ross. I mean, you want to call me Flamer, you want to call Vinny Fruit Loops, and you want to call Diego Baldy? Well, maybe we'll call you Rachel Ray, eh? Ah, you're just missing the fishnet stockings on your skinny little legs.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm sure that Ricky Ray Ross wouldn't appreciate that too much, though.
Well, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do about this? And this is what makes this all so much the sweeter. He said that I wasn't supposed to show up until June 21st.
Yes, I heard.
At the next show. Well, here's what happened. After that first show, From the Ashes, and he won ownership.
Yep.
Well, he came to Cleveland, Ohio to find me. He went straight from country town in Nashville, and he went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He went to rock and roll country.
That's been a big change for him.
Well, it was, and I don't know how he even managed to survive in that scenario, but, I mean, here's what happened. He meets up with me. He says, we want DC Wyld to come back to Sioux Area Wrestling. You know, I'm now the new owner. Business Inc. has nothing to do with it. They're gone. And how would you like to make a return? And I looked at him and I said, no, that part of my life is over. That book is closed, and I have moved on. But then he sweetened the deal a little bit. He said, listen, I'm trying to make this, you know, way better and bigger than before. We're doing it for the fans. I know how much you care about the fans. And I said, absolutely. And maybe DC Wyld can return. Let's work out something.
And we're glad you did.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's very good to be back. That reaction was amazing. It was awesome to come back. You know.
My ears are still ringing.
Oh, mine too. Mine too. You never get
that was louder than Metallica concert.
I've played with Metallica, and I tell you, they're loud. But
yeah.
You know, that crowd, they blew the roof off that joint. That was awesome. So, everybody wants to know now, why did I come back so early? Why did I come back at this past weekend's show? Well, I'll tell you why. After Ricky Ray Ross, Rachel Ray Ross, you know, he drew me up that contract. And in that contract, it goes, my locker room at every show is stocked with Captain Morgan's spiced rum, cold, fresh Canadian beer, the latest editions of Rolling Stone and Revolver magazines, and that was my rider, actually. That was my end of the bargain, and he agreed. But then he also put in a little extra there for me, where I got to choose my opponent when I came back.
That's a good deal.
It was a great deal. And there's been one man that I've been watching over those years, and I never got to hook up with him on my last tour of, Sioux Area Wrestling, and that was Brad Hexum. He's gotten involved in my matches.
Yes, he has.
You know, he's caused me a lot of gruff, and he was always in that category of, if I could get my hands on him, I'm going to bring him down.
Yeah.
I'm going to rock and roll with this boy. So you know what the thing was? And I had that. That was when I come back in June. He was going to be my select opponent. And then I see what Ricky Ray Ross started doing over the last couple months. I mean, yeah, sure, wonderful set. And,
yes.
You know, pouring money into the company. But
losing belts to gambling bets.
What was that all about?
How much money that was lost. So that's what really threw me for a loop was
you gambled away your tag team championships.
That's our livelihood that he's throwing away. You know, like how much other money is he throwing away?
Well, did you look at that coat he's wearing? Actually, I don't think he spent a dime on that coat. He probably married this old rich woman and waited till she died and probably took it. Because that's about the.
The rumor is that it's 100% chinchilla.
100%?
Yeah. I don't know where he got it from, but I know it's not from Sault Ste. Marie.
No, definitely not.
I didn't see any chinchillas running around here anytime.
I've never seen one.
Unless he's stealing them from little kids' houses out of their little
That's a lot of
pens.
chinchillas,
Yeah.
though.
He'd like the Grinch, jump around stealing everyone's chinchilla.
That's
No,
hard.
that's got to be an expensive coat. I could just imagine the price tag on that. If Chivarelli's got $500 shirts, I'm sure that coat's well into the triple digits. But
For sure. Still doesn't. It's probably still not as much as my tour bus, though. Or my custom-made guitars that I play with.
yeah,
But anyways, here's the thing. I've been watching what he's been doing, and just it drives me nuts. You promise me one thing, you tell me one thing, and you do a completely different thing. And this is exactly how Business Inc. ran it back in the day when I was here before. So, of course I'm going to show up, and I'm going to say, what the hell, what are you doing? So, you want to beat down my buddies? You want to, stack the decks against everybody? Well, I'm not going to put up with that. And if I put my hands on you and you're going to find me, well, then go right ahead because I can afford it. Thing is, can you afford new dental work?
oof, yeah.
So, here's what it's at. And this is what it's all about. It's all about the fans. It always has been about the fans. And Mr. Rock and Roll DC Wyld is back. You cannot kill rock and roll. It is here to stay. And I'm going to rock everybody like a hurricane on my way. Now here's one last thing. Just keep this in mind. Ricky Ray Ross. Rachel Ray Ross. Rachel Ray Ross. Thinks that he can just come on out and he can just book all these matches. And if he thinks he can book me in like a 3-on-1 handicap match, I'll just pull out the old contract and wave it in his face because it's his signature on the bottom.
Yeah.
Which means there's going to be a little bit of a change going here on forward, because if I want a match with whomever I want on the Saw roster, then I get it.
Well, it's legal binding.
Legal binding.
Yeah, so Ricky Ray Ross likes to hand out binds. I'm sure that would be worth a couple $1 million to break that contract.
It's got to be, at least.
Yeah.
Does he have a team of lawyers that big in his pockets? I don't think so.
Well, I still have yet to see a lawyer. He always talks about them, but regardless, yeah. So there was those antics he pulled with the Da Vinci's. What about the solution? The solution there, actually one of my second favorite moments in the show was when Joe Chivarelli, in retirement, manhandled the solution. Like a solution scares.
He's a
Jesus
big
out of me.
boy.
But
I fought bigger.
Joe Chivarelli still got it.
He
took
never
him
lost
down
it.
and, like,
He
nothing.
never lost it. That man is a legend.
Yeah. He wasn't just hardcore. He could fight in any kind of match. But you put a kendo stick in that man's hands, and you better watch out.
Oh, he's the world's dangerous weapon.
Yeah. So yeah, I was really happy to see that. But then Ricky Ray Ross broke it up. I don't even know why Shib listened, but he's a good man. I playing a little tune.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just remembering the chords. I got to go record an album after. So.
Oh well, we won't hold you up much longer, but yeah. So Shib come out, took care of the solution. Solution still throwing his weight around after that. I wasn't too impressed. He was a horrible rep.
Oh.
I don't know why Ricky Ray Ross would even make him a ref.
Where did anyone ever? I never got this answer. I was asking around during the show. Where was our regular referee?
That's funny because I seen him in the back, and all of a sudden I was going out. I was coming in with my camera gear, and I got this little guy follows me with the camera around, helps me do the reports at the thing. He never showed up. He had some stuff to do, schoolwork or something. I don't know. But matter of fact, I didn't have my camera guy, so I was waiting for him in the back, and I seen the referee actually leaving, counting a wad of money. Now, I know what refs make. This wasn't pay, and why would he be paid before the show? And then all of a sudden he was gone. So something funny went there. Is it my business? No. Should I ask these kind of questions? Maybe not. But yeah, it was
Well,
funny.
if you
because
don't, somebody
I
will.
did see the rep, and there was no rep at that show. And it was just funny how it was a solution, and then I don't know how he's tied with Josh Bennett, but it was just funny that Josh Bennett and the solution are the referees. So
Funny how things work out, eh?
to me, it looked like this whole show was rigged. It
Absolutely.
was all rigged by Ricky Ray Ross.
It looks like things haven't changed at all now since I've been gone.
No, and that's the thing was when we came from Saw from the Ashes, I thought this was going to be a rebirth. I thought here we're back, and then things are going to be better. But it just seems like corruption and this lives rampant. And it's glad to get somebody like you back, because then at the end of the show, you have the 6-man tag, and you did beat those guys. And like okay, the Da Vinci's, wow, what work they did. But
Absolutely, it was great to tag up with them again.
It looked like you were like Johnny Cage teleporting through that ring. It was amazing. You hammered those guys. You came up with the victory. Like, I didn't even know it was over yet. I just boom, DC Wyld winner, and then I could feel the chills, and actually I had a little tear in my eye. And I was doing commentary for Shiv, because Shiv went over to support the Da Vinci's and you.
Yeah.
And I took over commentary. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I'm a good commentary or what, but I tried my best. Never did the job before, but I'm telling you that I was going hysterical on there. I don't know if all you could hear is just me screaming and saying, DC Wyld. It was very biased on that side, because I know
absolutely.
exactly what this does. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. You have shone light on everything that you saw hope. Because now everyone in the back's seen what you did, and maybe they won't be so willingly let Ricky Ray Ross push them around.
Well, let's hope.
And
Let's hope everyone starts stepping up, because if there's going to be a war to be fought, then I'm going to lead that war against Ricky Ray Ross and this absolutely ridiculous power of control.
Yeah,
it's not right. It shouldn't be right. You know what? I personally believe that Joe Chivarelli should be in charge. He would be fair, and he would be, he would make the right decisions for everyone. And Joe knows that. Everybody knows that.
I agree 100%. He's Mr. Straight Shooter. Even when he's referring to Da Vinci's, he calls it down the line. And he's a great man. He put Ricky Ray Ross in his place many times. He put the solution in his place. He's not afraid to mix it up. Even in that Battle Royal ladder match, like for him just to jump up and decide to take it, the only person that really intimidated him was his own friend, and I don't think he intimidated. I think he just had respect.
Yeah.
And rather seen Diego win. Now, a shame that Diego didn't win. Would Diego would have been as good as the boss as Joe Chivarelli? I don't think so, but nonetheless, better than Ricky Ray Ross.
Oh, anybody would have been a better choice than Ricky Ray Ross. I'm telling you that, he goes from, full-time referee to becoming the owner, and now all of a sudden he's this power-hungry, thirsty for, the finer things in life. I mean, I know referee salary isn't huge.
He's eating caviar like Doritos.
Yeah, and you can't live always, the rock and roll lifestyle like some people.
Well, you're worth, what, 500 mil?
Oh, about that. Well, I'm not bragging, though. I'm not bragging.
No.
It was never about the money for me. I was just gifted.
But you're a modest man, yeah.
I'm very modest. I was gifted with the talents of, Jimi Hendrix.
I definitely agree.
And the wrestling prowess of...
Actually, like Mozart or Beethoven. But
wow. They're all connected,
They're all
really.
there,
They're all the
yeah.
same. I mean, Randy Rhoads, Hendrix, Mozart, Beethoven, Dave Mustaine, Dave Mustaine's actually a really nice guy, too. He doesn't come like that off sometimes in interviews, but me and him, there's been a few good party nights. We've stayed up to 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, strippers, No,
children. But anyways, so now we talked about what happened with Ricky Ray Ross, your point of view on it, what happened with you. We know that you want to fight at Saw Eye of the Beholder, June 21st. Brad Hexum. Did Ricky Ray Ross give you the go-ahead and the lawyers, or is he going to put up a fight on that?
From what I know, he has no control over it.
So, confirming.
I'm confirming it right now. June 21st, Saw Eye of the Beholder. Mr. Rock and Roll DC Wyld goes one-on-one with not so sinfully sexy Brad Hexum.
And you couldn't have heard it from a better man himself. That's what an epic main event that's going to be. I hope that maybe that this could be like for maybe, you know, number one contendership or something. I did hear that heavyweight and the cruiserweight might be in the works since there was that fiasco with the tag teams.
Right.
If Ricky Ray Ross stops buying some chinchilla jackets and betting away belts, hopefully we can see that belt around your waist. And if he keeps betting, we might see it around like Josh Bennett or maybe even Ricky Ray Ross himself.
Well, for that to work, he would have to, you know, have a card game with himself.
He'd probably just buy a belt and put it around his waist.
I wouldn't be surprised the way he's been acting. And it's the same thing. Like I said, it's just like before. And before, I fought for the company. I fought for the people. That's never going to change. And I'm going to do the same thing. Whether it's for a championship or if it's not, doesn't really matter. What matters is that we get Sioux Area Wrestling back on track and we start going down the crazy train.
Well, what an episode. You come out, blew my mind. Like I said, I still got goosebumps. I got chills up my spine.
So do I.
I truly missed you. Your fans missed you. Like we heard, I think some windows cracked in there. I think Ricky Ray Ross has some windows to replace in the Polish Hall. The fans made my eardrums bleed, but is that a bad thing? Hell no. Next time I'll just buy some earplugs. DC Wyld, I can't wait to see you in action again. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Back to Cleveland.
Thank you.
Let us know when that next CD comes out, and I'm sure you're gonna blow the canvas right off the ring on Saw Eye of the Beholder, June 21st. Don't you miss it. Tickets are on sale now at Millie's Mini Marts, Crazy Ernie's. The posters are going out. I'm going to be showing you a poster on this episode with the highlights. I got many highlights for you guys from Saw Beast of Burden. So check it out. Also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitters. And ladies and gentlemen, see you next Monday. Peace.